Alright, this is going to help a lot of people. The Spirit told me to make this video, so I'm going to make this video, be obedient. He struck down all the firstborn of Egypt, the first fruits of manhood in the tents of Ham. But he brought his people out like a flock. He led them like sheep through the wilderness. He guided them safely, so they were unafraid. But the sea engulfed their enemies. And so he brought them to the border of his holy land. He drove out nations before them and allotted their lands to them as an inheritance. He settled the tribes of Israel in their homes. But they put God to the test and rebelled against the Most High. They did not keep his statutes. Like their ancestors, they were disloyal and faithless, as unreliable as a faulty bow. They angered him with their high places. They aroused his jealousy with their idols. When God heard them, he was furious. He rejected Israel completely. He abandoned the tabernacle of Shiloh, the tent he had set up among humans. He sent the ark of his might into captivity, his splendor into the hands of the enemy. He gave his people over to the sword. He was furious with his inheritance. So for you to understand this, I removed the burden from their shoulders. Their hands were set free from the basket. In your distress you called, and I rescued you. I answered you out of a thundercloud. I tested you at the waters of Meribah. Hear me, my people, and I will warn you. If you would only listen to me, Israel, you shall have no foreign god among you. You shall not worship any god other than me. I am the Lord your God, who brought you up out of Egypt. Open wide your mouth, and I will fill it. But my people would not listen to me. Israel would not submit to me. So I gave them over to their stubborn hearts to follow their own devices. If my people would only listen to me, if Israel would only follow my ways, how quickly I would subdue their enemies and turn my hand against their foes. Those who hate the Lord would cringe before him, and their punishment would last forever. But you would be fed with the finest of wheat. With honey from the rock I would satisfy you. So this has been going on for quite a while. So when you're talking about my mama, it is a very touchy subject for a lot of people. So I'm trying to be as gentle, but I also uphold my statutes. Whenever I had parents, the Holy Spirit would be raising me through them. And it was usually a pretty rough childhood. But suffering makes you stronger. That's always been my life. And it has nothing to do with a curse or anything like that. It's just, it sets you apart. So when I said that my mama would be honored, I meant it. But not the human Now, the humans that have been my family and my friends are special humans. They are spirits that I have known for a very, very, very long time and wanted to be around with and interact and love. But no one is holy except me. A lot of things are misunderstood. And you can ask her, and she will tell you, my son does nothing unless God tells him to. I was actually raised that way against my parents. They were the first ones that I was preaching to, and they rejected it until they could no longer reject it. But moment by moment, step by step, if my parents told me to do something, the first thing I did, Lord, do you want me to do that? And if the Lord said no, I didn't do it. I didn't speak to them unless the Lord told me to speak to them. This is the training I received. People were very angry in my household. That's why I was able to say, this is what's going to happen if you follow me. I've been through it. I learned to be yelled at by my parents. I learned to take abuse by my parents. I learned all kinds of suffering through my parents. I'm not even going to get into it. But it shaped me to be able to fulfill the mission, which was to save and love the world through my example. No prayers will be answered unless the one true God hears them. You will be provided for and loved, protected, if you are obedient. If you are obedient, you will be led to the truth. It is up to you each day to be seeking God's will, fulfilling it, and led to the truth. The Holy Spirit exists to reveal truth. That's one reason. If it goes against the 10 Commandments in this book, it is not of God. Every word in this has a purpose. If it takes you away from a relationship with Jesus Christ through the Holy Spirit, it is not of God. If it brings you closer, it is of God. My methods, and this has frustrated me about the church. The church, to me, has always been like, this is our Jesus, this is the way he has to be, he's only for the church. And I've been like, that's not me. I want everyone to be the church. Every day should be church for you. The world is a training ground. When my hand is on you, nothing can touch you. The world teaches you not to fear, to stand your ground. And in this country, how blessed it is, and favored and loved by God that it is, there's not much that you have to stand your ground on. All you really have to do is be able to speak. All right, Spirit says I made my point. I love you.